Hi, in this video we are going to look at how to use the metadata presets in ingest form to speed up metadata entry. This can be done using the check-in app. The topics that we would cover include using a metadata preset to automatically apply metadata values to incoming assets, creating new metadata preset, and setting up default preset that apply automatically when you bring up the ingest form. When you want to bring in new assets into the repository, you can use the check-in form to apply metadata. So I dragged some files in here. There are about 14 files that I'm about to ingest. And as I can see in the metadata panel, some of the metadata fields are already filled in. In fact, all the required fields already have a default value. But you can see there are several fields in here that are empty. So the first question is, how did these fields get populated with value? Your media manager can set up certain defaults so that when you bring up the metadata form, the defaults are preset into these fields. So these are system presets that your media manager specified. And your media manager can do that in the metadata schema. So for example, if you look at the metadata schema, your media manager has specified default values for many of these fields. Now that's great for the media manager, but as a user, you want to have control over what goes into these fields. And that is where the user-defined metadata presets come along. So for instance, if I select the trade show preset in here, you can see it fills in a different set of values, and it updated all the fields that I cared for. So these are presets that you as a user can define. Now I can see that some of the presets I don't agree with. So let's say I don't want this to be routed to Brian. I wanted this to be routed to, say, Sid. So I can come in and change the value here in the metadata field. And maybe I don't like the default brand to be Evolve Now. I'm working on Zoom tonight. So as a user, you can come and edit the metadata in this form and then create your own custom preset. You click on the Save Metadata option in here, and then you can define a new name. So let's say I want to call this Patrick preset. I can hit save, and now I have my own custom preset. So you can see I've added another preset here. So just to see how this works, if I click on empty, it changes the value. And if I go back to Patrick preset, it changes the values to what I have saved as the preset. This is extremely useful if you're working on a project and you are going to ingest many files over several days or weeks. You can set up presets for that project and simply use the preset to fill in the metadata. Now, if you are lazy and you don't want to even select the preset, you can set up defaults. So you can mark this as default. If you did that and saved it, as soon as you ingest new files, it will use this preset to fill in the metadata. Let us see how that works. So I'll take the same set of files and try to ingest them. When I launch the check-in form, it'll bring up the metadata editor in a moment. And now I see all the values are filled in based on this Patrick preset. And the reason is this preset was marked as the default preset. If I want to toggle that and no longer want to use as a default, I can just unclick that. The advantages of using a preset is, of course, you don't have to fill in the metadata or select a preset. The danger is you might set up a default, you might forget about it, and it'll keep applying the same metadata in bulk to every single asset. So that's the metadata preset feature.